What's up, everyone? It's Hector here, and I know it's been a while since I made any sort of content, but I just had a vlog about my WrestleMania weekend because, yes, I actually went to WrestleMania 39 in LA. Same weekend, I also went to WrestleCon. It was the experience of a lifetime. I just have to just talk all about it. So it's been about 2.5, almost 3 weeks now. I wanted to go Thursday evening or Friday morning because they had this superfan show for WrestleCon on Friday evening, and also Goldberg was going to be there only Friday. But my dad ended up wanting to go with me, so I had to wait till Friday evening till he got out of work. I think I just want to take a vacation away from everything as well, but he was also a little worried about me driving so far by myself. I drove to Bakersfield before from Central California. That takes about 4 hours, but to go to LA, it takes about 6 hours, and you have to go up the mountains and down the mountains, and it was pretty crazy driving that ridge route. But we ended up getting there about Saturday at 1 a.m., and then on the way, I was watching Friday Night SmackDown and the WWE Hall of Fame on my phone. So it was a nice trip, I guess. Although both of our backs were just killing us by the end of the trip, and then on top of that, I had to carry a bunch of championship belt replicas. Some were just the standard replicas and not that heavy. Some are the ultra deluxe replicas, and they're crazy heavy. I had about 7 belts in total. On the way over, well, putting them in the car, it wasn't too difficult. Taking them out, we had a bellhop at the hotel, the Millennium Biltmore Hotel, which was the same hotel that they had the whole WrestleCon convention at, in different rooms on the ground floor. So he helped us take the stuff up, and then he was saying that he was like related to some of the Samoan wrestlers because supposedly there's not too many Samoans from those islands, and they're pretty much just all kind of cousins in a way or something like that. But anyways, when we checked out, there was like too many people. I didn't want to wait for a bellhop, so I just carried all my belts. Well, minus 2. My dad had like 2 of them. I had like 6 or something. I don't know. We went down from the 9th floor and then up to the 7th floor of the car garage. And on the way, I was getting tired. Some people were just moving slowly. Some people were just standing in the doorways. But I think that's pretty much what killed my back. That's also why I'm standing as opposed to sitting. But my back is getting better after going to the chiropractor and doing all this stuff. So anyways, we arrived Saturday morning about 1 a.m. I wanted to go to WrestleCon also Saturday morning. It started about 9 a.m., so I only slept a few hours. Got up, got some autographs. I got a Ron Simmons autograph on this, also known as Farouk in the WWF. It was the first black world wrestling champion in all of history, I believe. I also already had Lex Luger's autograph on that. And then I got Bret Hart's autograph on the WWF Winged Eagle. I already had Hulk Hogan's autograph. And I got Chavo Guerrero Jr.'s and Dean Malenko's autograph on the Cruiserweight Championship. They were charging quite a bit more than what they normally charge up here in Central California and Stockton. Well, Stockton's one of the worst towns in all of America. So they usually charge like $40-$60 up here, but down in LA they're charging $80 to $100. Chavo only charged like $50. Ron Simmons charged $100, Bret charged $100, Dean Malenko charged $100, and then they said, "You want a picture? Another $20. You want to get it authenticated by JSA? That's another $10." And then they also had like a small wrestling store for WrestleCon in one of the rooms on the ground floor. It didn't have that much awesome stuff in it. They did have like some turnbuckles that were autographed, some of those commemorative chairs from older pay-per-views. They had some Mattel figures and Funko Pops. The only replica belts I saw was the 6-man tag team championship from ROH. But those were the only autographs I got on Saturday and Sunday. There was a lot more wrestlers and people on Saturday. On Sunday, some people showed up late. Some of the wrestlers showed up late. So that my superfan ticket, where I can go an hour earlier before the general audience, didn't really help out on Sunday. And then I missed the Friday show, so I kind of felt like I overpaid for that superfan ticket. I'm here at WrestleCon Sunday. I already went yesterday, Saturday, got 2 autographs, but I wanted to get a few more. But of course, autographs are pretty dang expensive, and I don't have that much money. So we're just going to see where we can go with the autographs. And I'm also going to WrestleMania Night 2 tonight, but I didn't go to Night 1 because I was way too tired. So yeah, there we go. And then also when it comes to autographs, I wanted to get the Undertaker's autograph on my winged eagle because he was getting autographs at the WrestleMania SuperStore about a mile away at the LA Convention Center, a mile away from WrestleCon. And Rey Mysterio was also there on some of the days. Dominic Mysterio was also there. I want to say Theory was there, but I'm not too sure. But all the wrestlers sold their tickets online before the event. They said you had to get a ticket and then show up at the event, except for The Undertaker. They said you had to pay at the event during the time to get The Undertaker's autograph. I figured it would have been like all the other wrestlers at WrestleCon. There's a line, you show up. He's like, you want my autograph on this? It'll be this much. You want my autograph on this? It'll be this much. They charge more for belts. And even if you have a card, a rookie card, Undertaker said he charged like $1,000 for his autograph on a rookie card. $250 for his autograph on a belt. But if it's just on a picture, it's like $100 or something, $150, I think. Anyways, so I show up, I wait in line. You also have to wait in line to get into the WrestleMania SuperStore itself. And then there's a line to meet The Undertaker in this other section that's kind of closed off. Kind of waited for the line to die down before I actually, went in there, like 2 seconds later or whatever. There's a guy, kind of looking things over, I guess kind of security or something. And he's like, can I help you? And I'm like, yeah, I wanted to get the Undertaker's autograph on my belt. And he was like, well, you got to get a ticket. And I was like, oh, I thought he was selling them or something at this event. And he's like, oh, well, you can see if they have any more. And he was just being a smartass. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy's problem? And that was the same with a lot of staff at WrestleMania, at WrestleCon. It's like people don't know how to handle working with people. You're at a whole event where there's going to be hundreds, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people because it's LA. Anyways, also at the WrestleMania SuperStore, they had a bunch of displays, actual championship belts that were used, not replicas. They had Eddie Guerrero's Lowrider. They had a tire from Rey Mysterio, Cody Rhodes, The Great Muta. Andy Kaufman's Intergender Championship was there because Andy Kaufman was inducted into the Hall of Fame. So WrestleMania SuperStore had a bunch of awesome stuff. They also had a whole racks of shirts that they just sold. And you just grab the merchandise. This is also why they had, a line to the entrance and a bunch of security. You just grab the merchandise and then you have to go into this other section where there's a whole line and then a line of registers, people in registers, but a line to get into that area with the registers. Anyways, they also said it's cashless event. You can only use debit card, credit card, stuff like that. I ended up getting this Rey Mysterio mask for $50, although it was kind of cheaper compared to the Figures Toy Company Rey Mysterio mask replica. It's still a pretty good mask, but not really comparative. I also got this hat, but I got the hat at WrestleMania, which I'm going to talk about in a second. It's actually embroidered with the truck stop backing. They had a gray and a black one, but the black one wasn't embroidered and all fancy like this. They sold out of t-shirts pretty quick. Well, at the WrestleMania show, they had a bunch of merch booths all around. And the WrestleMania SuperStore. So if I went to the WrestleMania SuperStore, maybe they had more. This was a medium. I normally wear mediums, but this is too small. So it's more like a small. I haven't even washed it yet. So I would recommend getting a size up for WWE shop shirts, I guess. So I didn't go to SmackDown on Friday. Went to WrestleCon Saturday morning. I was thinking about going to WrestleMania Night 1 Saturday night, but I was just too tired. I ended up falling asleep watching the first night on my phone. But I was looking at tickets, on Ticketmaster for that or during that whole day because they said it was sold out. It wasn't sold out. There was a bunch of empty seats, usually on places that people didn't want to sit or way up in the nosebleed section. They also just had a standing room only ticket for like $35, $50 or something like that, plus fees, of course. Because they had bars and restaurants and stuff all up on the ground floor. And then you can see the ring way down at the bottom of the SoFi Stadium. So I didn't go the first night. I was thinking about it on the first riser section from the ground floor. And then you would have just seen the ring. Because even though it's a whole event, if it's televised, if there's a camera there, the wrestlers almost always face the camera when they're talking, when they're wrestling, whatever. Sometimes they wrestle on the side and all that, but they're usually facing the camera. So if you want to see everything, sit where the camera is shooting. But then sometimes people want to be on the other side because they want to be on camera and they want to be behind the wrestlers or whatever. Anyways, I didn't go to night one, ended up watching it on my phone. Turned out to be the best night. I was waiting for night two because one, I thought they had like all the women's matches on night one. Apparently they split it up, night one and night two. But two, the main event, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, was night two. Of course, I wanted to see that over the Tag Team Championship main event. I'm not really knocking that main event, but it just wasn't in comparison, you know? It wasn't in the same league. So I only went to night two because I also only had a small amount of money. I had to pay for the hotel. I had to pay for these belts and all that stuff like that. All the autographs on the belts, I mean. I did want to buy some championship belts because they had some new championship belt replicas at the WrestleMania SuperStore of the Winged Eagle, the version 2 with the WWE logo, not WWF, with these sidebars attached to the main plate, and it's all gold. It's a dual plated. And they also had a big gold, just like the FanDuel Lux, on brown strap, dual plated, 3D etched. But the etching didn't have like the leaf split like that. It was just like one solid piece. But it was still 3D etched. It also wasn't mirror finish. It was kind of like dull for the gold. But some people like that, whatever. Everybody wanted it. Some people were selling it online for like twice the price. Kind of wanted to go the last day, but my dad just wanted to get the hell out of there. His back was killing him. My back was killing me and all that. So he's just like, let's go home. But before we left on Monday, I did go to WrestleMania Night 2 Sunday. As I was kind of saying, I took my... Oh, you can't see it down here, but I have a Elite WWE Championship, the current WWE Championship 2014 version with cubic zirconia. It says real leather. It's not really leather. I got to do a video on that whole thing. But everybody was all looking at it. They're like, oh, is that real cubic zirconia and all that stuff. But there's a whole group of people, because we checked out of the Millennium Biltmore on Sunday, I believe. Went to a Motel 6 the same day, which was right down the street from the SoFi Stadium, because Millennium Biltmore is like 13 miles from SoFi Stadium. Motel 6 wasn't too bad. It was pretty run down and everything, but considering the price and the location, it was pretty awesome. There was a whole line of people going down the street and up the stadium, or up towards the stadium. Some had a bunch of championship belt replicas, some just had other merch and all that. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it in time, so I started jogging. I think that also kind of hurt my back. I'm jogging with the Elite replica. I think I had it on my waist, jogging with my Elite replica. And for the stadium, you have to enter a certain door depending on what your ticket says. And then you have to like walk down through these certain escalators and these certain stairs to get all the way down to the ground floor. It was so annoying. And they said, no, you can't use the elevators. You have to take this path and go to this number. Oh my God. Okay, whatever. And apparently there were some other wrestlers hanging out throughout the stadium when they weren't on the show. Or maybe like night 2, if they were performing night 1, they might have been around the stadium night 2. Stuff like that. So I had a floor ticket. So I had to go all the way down to the floor. And I paid $800, even though the ticket said $600. But then all those fees and all that from Ticketmaster made it go up to $800 something. And I don't know how many people here have had a floor ticket, but it's just a bunch of fold-out chairs wrapped around the legs by zip ties. So I'm kind of like this with big old guys next to me. And like the next row up, there's a bunch of empty seats. And some people were like sitting on 2 chairs. And I'm like, did these guys buy 2 seats? You know, maybe they're kind of rich. Because there were some celebrities around. I saw, I think his name's Mario Lopez, I think. Guy from like the celebrity shows. And I think he was on Saved by the Bell and all that. If you've never really been to a WWE event, they have a ton of cameramen and microphone crew and all that. And if you're at the wrong angle, you just see 3 or 4 camera guys in front of the actual talent. And I'm like, what the heck? I can't even see them. So I have to look up at the monitor to see what's going on. And then you can usually see what's happening in the ring. But if they go onto the ground, you can't really see anything unless you're way up there. And if one person or 2 people stand up in front of you, you can't really see anything. Then other people stand up. and the staff was starting to say, sit down, and the staff didn't really know when to tell people to sit down, because I remember during the Edge versus Finn Balor Hell in a Cell match, which they stopped halfway through because Finn Balor was bleeding, and everybody was like, what the hell? And so I knew that match was going to end because Edge was setting up Finn Balor for the concerto. I'm like, this is over. He's not going to stand up, or he's not going to get up. So I stood up, and I think the staff even said, sit down. Nobody else was standing up. 1, 2, 3. I'm like, see, that's the end. Everybody get up. Because everybody always gets up at the end of the match, and sometimes the beginning of the match. Edge's entrance was also the loudest. My ears were ringing from everybody screaming. Also made us wait over and over because they were showing us advertisements for some movie or whatever. I think The Exorcist, The Priest Exorcist, I don't know. So then we get to the main event, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. I think most people know the ending by now. Cody Rhodes loses because of Solo Sikoa and the whole bloodline and everything. Also, bloodline came in one corner. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn came in another corner. They actually came in right next to me and like a few seats down from me. But we all knew they were going to come because they had a bunch of staff and security lining the rows like 10 minutes before they even came out. We're like, oh, somebody's going to come. So they come out and all that stuff happens. And then we see somebody coming in with a hoodie. We're like, what was that? Was that somebody else? Or was that staff? Because there's people with hoodies with camera and microphone crew running around and all that. So we're watching the show, and then Solo Sikoa comes out, does the freaking thumb, and we're like, oh, it was Solo. First we're like, who's that? What's going on? And they're like, oh, it's Solo. One, two, three, and at the ending, people just got up and left. Like, well, they waited, a couple minutes, and then they just took off. I had never been to a show where everybody just took off like that. I was like, what the heck? I was like, everybody's leaving? I'm going to get closer. There's all these free seats, pretty much. And Cody Rhodes was still in the ring. Roman Reigns was going up the ramp. So, as I'm getting closer, the staff is like, all right, time to go. Everybody go, exits that way or whatever. Although some people were pointing in different directions. So that was annoying also. But I'm like, I'm not leaving. Cody Rhodes is right here. This is still WrestleMania, pretty much. I want to get some pictures. So I got closer. I felt the pads on the ringside and all that. And so if you have a ringside seat, Well, the first 10 seats get those commemorative chairs. You get to take them home. If they can't take them home, they'll send them to you because you have ticket information and all that. But some people were like, oh, I'm just going to take a chair and take it home with me. Well, the staff was like, you can't take a chair unless you have a golden wristband. And they made everybody on the floor go through one set of doors. So they checked everybody. And then we went up like this whole concrete pathway all the way from the ground floor, or the floor seat tickets of the stadium, all the way to the like normal ground floor. It took forever. I don't even know. What if some people were like, disabled? They were just like, you gotta walk up this ramp? What the heck, man? And, because there's stairways up all these other corners, why didn't we just go out the way we came in? But we're like, no, you gotta go up this ramp. Okay. So, I get back to the hotel and, just chill and I kind of felt deflated. I felt like WrestleMania Night 2 wasn't as good as it should have been, especially compared to WrestleMania Night 1. Everybody was saying it in all the social media immediately. And I'm like, man, did I just waste $800 on the worst WrestleMania night? And why do they have it on 2 nights now? Come on, man. I got to choose which night I'm going to go. I don't have that much money. I put it on credit cards. I still owe it. So, I'm just here, just experiencing this WrestleMania, but it was the chance, the experience of a lifetime. I know it, I didn't get the ending that I wanted or whatever. There were some downsides, but there was still a ton of upsides. And sometimes you just got to enjoy the good parts of, there might be some bad parts of a trip. You just got to enjoy the good parts. I know my back's still hurting. I got some cool merch, saw some awesome stuff, took some epic pictures. You can see more of those pictures on my website, hxchector.com. That's hardcorehector.com. Bunch of pictures from the WrestleMania SuperStore with all those belts, attire, collectibles that had the bullhorns from JBL's limousine, just a bunch of different things. So yeah, definitely check that out. I also got to do more championship belt replicas, but yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. I think WrestleCon was pretty cool, though pretty expensive. I do want to go to another wrestling convention, get some more autographs. Still got to save up though. If you went to WrestleMania weekend, WrestleCon, anything like that, leave a comment below telling me how your experience was. Again, check out my website, hxchector.com or hardcorehector.com. Either one leads to the same place. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it or appreciated it, I guess. And subscribe for more content like this, more championship bout replicas, maybe some anime figure collectibles. I haven't really done any reviews, any sorts of reviews in a while. So I really need to step up my game. But I got school and work and all that stuff. Definitely subscribe if you want to see that. See y'all later. And as always, keep on collecting.